Hey guys, Luke with Lacrosse here, and welcome to my special feature for the Week 4 matchup between 6th ranked Yale hosting number 2 Penn State. It was an awesome game, and I'm going to be sure to get into every little detail about this game, but let's get into this now. So, first, we're going to start with the stats, as always, before I get into the real game story of every little thing that happened. But so first off, Yale wins this game 14 to 13. Really good game by both teams, but Yale just a little bit better, and it showed, especially later on in the game. Penn State started off a lot better though. This was in front of an attendance of 1,980 people. It was actually standing room only, I heard. So that's great to see that at a college lacrosse game, especially in a top 10 matchup, really a top 5 matchup. I know Yale was in 6th, but basically top 5. But shots in Yale's favor, 39-34, 40 ground balls for Yale, whereas 30 for Penn State. Face-offs, really big story of the game, 25 for Yale, 6 for Penn State, and Grant Arceri really struggled in this game against T.D. Erling, who many people do, so don't feel too bad, Arceri. And man up, Penn State had an amazing man up. They were 4 for 5, so you gotta hand it to them there. Very good offense. Their offense is as sold. Yale's man up only 1 for 3, so some room to move, but Penn State made some good plays as well, especially Colby Knies. He played very well. Turnovers, 23 for Yale and 18 for Penn State. Kind of odd. It didn't seem like there were that many turnovers, but there was a certain amount of times where Yale really turned it over a lot in kind of streaks. So that's kind of where I think a lot of these turnovers came from, especially at the end of the game. Penn State really kind of forced this back to a one-goal game for the final when it seemed like Yale was really going to pull away. But players of the game, for Penn State, we'll start with Grant Emont. He had 2 goals, 7 assists. He had a great play where he's at X, and Chris Fake of Yale came to play him, and he faked out Chris Fake, and he scored around from X. It was a great play. And Mac O'Keefe, he had 5 goals. He's having a monster year. So, yeah, Penn State's offensive players did come to play, but defense couldn't hold up the end of the bargain, as has really kind of been the trend for Penn State under Tambroni. No disrespect, but it's just really kind of what's happened. And, you see me wearing a Penn State hoodie. My dad went to Penn State, so I really like Penn State. I've been to a lot of their games for a lot of their sport teams. But, yeah, I mean, I got to tell it how to see it, and defense kind of wasn't up to the challenge again, even though they had a lot of good plays. For Yale, I got T.D. Erling as my player of the game. He had 1 goal and 25 of 31 faceoffs. I mean, monster. He was a main reason why Yale won this, I think. He was the best player of the game, overall of the game, not just for Yale. But Jackson Morrow is my other player of the game. He had 2 goals and 5 assists. So, those are kind of the story. Those are the stats and the players of the game. But for the story of the game, it really started out, and I didn't really think so, but the announcers thought so, which I thought was weird. It's such an early game, early in the game. But Penn State came out firing like first 2 minutes, 2-0 Penn State, and I was like, geez, they look really good. Yale fires back, they come back 2-2. A theme that came up for Penn State a lot. I noticed their deep balls or in defensive guys slipped a lot. Yale's did not so much, so I don't know if that's footwork or if the turf was just slippery or that was their cleats. I think the sponsor's Nike. They're not take a shot at Nike, even though their shoes did blow open for the Duke players, Zion Williamson, in that big basketball game. But yeah, they slipped a lot. It was kind of weird to see that D1 defense have so many guys slip. But that led to Yale tying up the game. And then Grant Emont has a crazy play from X where he fakes out Chris Fake. Fake had him hung up behind X. They're both hung up. I don't know why Fake went around to play him. That's when Emont made his move and got him. I mean, better just to not play him and keep him at X. I mean, he can't shoot from there. I mean, if he shoots from there, that's like so awesome. I mean, if he scores a goal when he's standing behind the cage and he doesn't come around, I mean, there's nothing you're going to do there. You need a new goalie now. But, yeah, Yale really struggled to cover the Penn State players early. I was thinking, man, Penn State looks really good so far. 4-2 Penn State. I mean, they were speeding by the Yale defenseman. It took a while for them to adjust to that speed. Penn State attack, very good on the Rhines, forced a lot of turnovers, so they deserve credit for that. Again, a Penn State player slips, which leads to a Yale goal, and then Yale scores again. They overloaded the left side of the field when you're looking at it towards facing the goalie's left side, and then they get a skip pass to the right side, and it was an easy goal for him, for the Yale player that made that shot. It's very good setup by the offense there, and they really did a good job of setting up the shots up top for Yale, especially kind of in the middle or close to the middle, and that was some good adjustments by Yale. And Penn State really never adjusted to that the whole game. So it's 4-4 at the end of the first quarter, and then Yale starts the second quarter out, Penn State guy, again, he slips and falls on his butt, and Yale scores. So it's 5-4 Yale, and then Yale gets another one-timer. The middle wasn't covered too well, and he passes it from X, I believe, into the crease. Great catch, kind of Canadian catch, and shoots it. And it's pretty well covered by Colby Knies, so it was a good shot. So 6-4, and then Penn State gets a man up. Yale kills it. I guess that was the only one they killed. But then Penn State had a great defensive stop. They stopped Yale through the shot clock, and then Yale stops Penn State through the shot clock. It was pretty funny. And then Penn State's D pulls, I'm kind of harping on how they slipped a lot. They did slip a lot, but their pulls did a good job of forcing turnovers in the one-on-ones. So they deserve credit for that. Only one time did the pulls fail to really capitalize on the strips they would make. They wouldn't get it down the field. There was only once, Chris Sabia. He stripped the Yale player, and he went to pick up the ground ball. It just kind of popped out. I think it was just wet, and went out of bounds. I think Yale scored there, but still, Sabia had a pretty good game. But yeah, defense did have some struggles, but great ride by Penn State led to the goal for them late in the quarter. I think it was Mac O'Keefe. We'll say it was Mac O'Keefe. It was him or Amont. And the Yale goalie had it in the crease. He came out a bit, and he went to pass it around the attackman. And I think it was Mac O'Keefe. And he tips it, he picks it up, and he runs around and scores. It was a great play right at the end of near the end of the second quarter. But so I was thinking, Penn State's got the momentum going to half. They're going to be down 6-5. Then T.D. Erlin wins the faceoff, takes it right down, passes it off, and Yale scores with 15 seconds left. I mean, that is so deflating for Penn State, and that's when their defense has really always struggled historically under Tambroni in those big moments to keep momentum. And Yale gets a big goal there, and you could tell it's deflating for Penn State, although they clearly play well throughout the rest of the game. But yeah, 7-5 at halftime. And then third quarter, Penn State comes out firing like they did in the first quarter. They make it 7-7 very quick. They score quick, and then they get a man-up goal. And the man-up was very good. Really did a good job of finding the open man. Then, as I thought, this game's kind of turning towards Penn State again, T.D. Erlin wins the face-off, as he did basically all day. And he shoots it. He takes it in himself, and he shoots and scores. A great play by him. A clutch player does that. And then Yale gets an opening on the crease against Penn State, and they score again, so it's 9-7. And then Yale scores again. It was a cross-crease goal. I mean, they were starting to pass it right through the middle of the Penn State D. I mean, it was not looking good for Penn State. Then it was 10-7. And then Penn State gets a man-up. There was one questionable man-up for Penn State, and where it probably should have been a penalty, but it didn't matter. It got called, and they score. With the man-up really helped Penn State stay in the game. Then Yale gets a man-up goal, so 11-8. So it's 11-8 Yale at the end of the third quarter. So it's still interesting. And then this was bad. Start the fourth. Yale player at X, and he just basically walks around X, and no one slid to him, and he shoots and scores. So it's 12-8 Yale, and it's not looking good for Penn State. And then Yale comes right down again, scores on the crease. Crease was starting to get left open by Penn State. They really struggled to keep covering the crease consistently. Yale was good at getting open on the crease, though. It's part of that as the offensive player making the play. But as a defensive guy, and if you're a defensive guy, you cannot let the guy on the crease get open. They let the guy on the crease get open a lot. Knies saved them out a lot of times, too. But then Yale scores on the crease, so it's 13-8, and I was thinking, here we go. Penn State's going to lose. Penn State really hasn't been able to win those big games under Tambroni line. I was kind of thinking the same thing there. But Yale gets sloppy, and Penn State deserves a lot of credit for this. They come out and score right away, 13-9. Then they get a guy wide open on crease, and they score again, 13-10, and then they get a man up. and they score again. They skip past it through the Yale defense, and it's 13-11. And I was like, oh man. But then T.D. Erlin again, his face-off play, what made the difference in the game overall. He wins another big face-off. Well, I was thinking, oh, Penn State. There was time, so I was thinking, oh, Penn State. I'm a sucker. I thought it was kind of over. But T.D. Erlin wins it, gets it. Yale scores off the wing. I think the right side when you're facing the goalie is a great shot. It was hard to cover. It was just a really well-placed shot. And it makes it 14-11. And then Penn State gets a man-up goal. Again, 14-12 again from up top. It was a great play. And then Penn State scores from X. I think it was a Mott. And 14-13. And then Yale wins the face-off and kind of runs out the clock. So, really a game of streaks. Penn State just... If there was 2 minutes left in the game, I think Penn State would have tied it for sure. And maybe would have won. But Penn State's offense kind of would disappear in certain parts of the game. I mean, Yale's defense is a lot more superior to the teams they played. Again, the defense for Penn State struggled in the key moments. Kind of like the football team. I'm a diehard Penn State football fan. I was at the Whiteout last year. If you look at my actual Instagram, I love Penn State so much. But just like the football team, the defense couldn't step up when it needed to be stepped up. I mean, when Yale was able to get that wing goal to make it 14-11, I was like, I was pretty neutral towards who won the game. But I was kind of, I was thinking just for the sake of Penn State, I was like, oh, that really hurts. They're making a run, they give that up. But it was a great game, guys. Penn State, that offense is legit. Defense was actually pretty good overall. I know I kind of harped on, but when it's a close game like this against top teams, those mistakes like slipping and all that stuff, leaving the crease open too many times, I mean, it adds up. You notice it. I had to watch tape on all these teams, so I'm just really good at noticing. I'm better at noticing that stuff, so. But, yeah, great win for Yale. Great rebound for Yale. And Penn State, they got Penn next. I kind of feel bad for Penn. I do not think that's going to be pretty. I think Penn State's going to take their frustration out of them. Penn State, though, they look very good. They're still a contender in my books for the Big Ten. But, yeah, congrats to Yale, and, congrats to Penn State on not giving up when they got the 13-8. They do deserve credit for that. And that speaks to Tambroni and that coaching staff to keep those guys mentally strong to come back in tough situations. So guys, that'll do it on the special feature for my Week 4 Game of the Week with number 2, Penn State at number 6, Yale. Again, it was Yale 14, Penn State 13. But if you like this video, please leave a like and feel free to subscribe. I really appreciate all the support you guys have already given me. And a subscription and a like and all that stuff is greatly appreciated by me. I love it seeing the notifications for that stuff. But if you want more content like this in the meantime, in between videos, please follow me on my Instagram or Twitter, whatever one you want to do, or preferably both, at logical_lacrosse. I also have a website where I'm posting more content like this at www.logicallacrosse.com. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to showing you guys and presenting my Week 5 Game of the Week. I haven't yet decided on it, but I look forward to presenting that stuff to you guys and giving you guys more analysis on the bigger games of the week. But as always, enjoy the rest of your day.